I was told once a long time ago from my minister in the Napa Valley, what is really difficult to have a center and to have a sermon and to do all this. And she said, you really want to have the support from your practitioner, from your musician. And I feel it so deeply when you're on stage, when Joanne and Jim and beautiful Kelly today to share her sacred share, how wonderful that is for me. So you give me such a beautiful gift. So thank you so much for that. And setting it all up and having a degree in, engineering and all this stuff is another level. So thank you. Well, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers of two-legged, four-legged, all the mothers in the world. We love you so much. We love you. This is the way I get my kids to church, is Mother's Day. So Mother's Day every Sunday, so nice for you to be here. So my name is Reverend Lanna, and I'm the Community Spiritual Director here at the Wasatch Spiritual Center, a growing community. We're in a beautiful building. We have beautiful musicians, beautiful facility. It's just really a delight to share these teachings with you. So we call our teachings religious science, and it started about 100 years ago. So we're next February 14th, 2027 will be 100 years. And I spoke to Ricky Byers' manager on the weekend, and there's a good chance she will be coming and doing a concert for us. So to get Ricky Byers up here on a Saturday, Sunday, I don't know, we'll just keep her forever. She doesn't know that yet, but there's so excitement in that regard. So we call our teachings metaphysics, which means that there's more to what we see and what we experience. There's a deep sense of the divine flowing through us all the time, that we are born in the image and likeness of God, that we are whole, complete, and perfect just the way we are, just how we show up, that we don't have to perform or behave or be a certain way. Rather, we simply have to pivot to the truth of who we are, and we are magnificent and glorious human beings. So it is a great teaching. It is a meaningful teaching for us to practice and to live these teachings. So a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the spiritual practices, what we do, how we embody these teachings. There's 8 of them, and then we have 8 and 10 different principles of our teachings. But our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, really studied world religions, and he really kind of took a golden thread behind all world religions. I'm teaching a class right now called Ancient Religions and Science of Mind, and looking at the African traditions, the Mayan, the Incan, the Hindu, the pagan philosophy. He was able to really understand and interpret all of those teachings, just knowing that there's one life that is expressing through you, one life that wants you to win, to succeed, that we are born with all that we need. And if something doesn't work out, a relationship, a job, a situation, it's all moving you to something better and greater. So the impetus of spirit is always good, always moving us into a greater truth of that. So we come on Sundays in a beautiful community, always donuts. Thank you, Natalie, for bringing 8 boxes. Everyone could take a half a box home today, so that's good news. But we come together to spark this transformation, to remind ourselves of who we are, just to slow down, to feel that truth living through us unobstructedly, moving through us easily, effortlessly, joyously, abundantly, healthily, always moving through us. So the lovely Carol Harris is back from her vacation, and she blessed all the chairs. So you feel that energy. We have a prayer box that we pray on. And I was talking to a minister last week, and I said, when we get these prayers, we just don't think about them for a week. We think about them all the time. So we're always holding you in that fullness of how Spirit is expressing naturally as you. So there's a lot going on here now, a lot of events coming up. We'll be starting Diksha. Donna's camping, our other good friend, Jeff and Cindy on a cruise for 10 days in the Mexican Riviera. So there's a lot that we're going to be starting in May and having a meditation before our service. So it's delightful to be here. So I would just like to share with you our mission and vision. And if you feel comfortable, they should appear here and we can say them together. So our mission is to create an expansive community of love, healing, and connection through compassionate spirituality to better ourselves and to serve the world. And our vision is to awaken and ignite our sacred self with all to uplift humanity. I swear I know it. Sometimes I just have so much going on. So that is our vision, what we intend to awaken and empower the sacred self within all to uplift humanity. So we do something very special here. We do announcements at the end, but we call upon a member who is demonstrating these principles. And I just got to know her maybe 4 months ago, and she's a very special person. We just got to celebrate the Kentucky Derby together. First female trainer to win in 2026, better late than never, but that's a great sign. And I've just been getting to know her, and I just know that she embodies these principles so well. Her wife is Jamie Palmer, our treasurer, who's a rock star in itself. Jamie, you're next week. But we really encourage someone to come up in our community to share with us how these teachings, how this philosophy has impacted their lives. And then we'll have Joanne come up and do a reading for us and a prayer. So welcome, and I call on Kelly Hewitt to share her wisdom with us. And if you are speaking, please use these stairs on and off. Don't jump like a wild hyena, because that's dangerous. And there's either a handheld or that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this on? Okay, this.
I think you have to press.
It's on?
Yeah.
Okay, you can. Okay. So from the time I was young, I always knew there was something about me. I don't want to use the term special because I was too young to understand that. But in short, I would wish for something and then forget about it, and then it would come true down the road. And I didn't know what that meant at the time. So fast forward to my adulthood, where everything I thought I understood about love, stability, and identity began to unravel. Like, my spiritual journey didn't begin in a moment of peace. It began in disruption. Like around 2012, I was introduced to something new through people who have become pivotal in my life. And I had met them at the Wasatch Center for Spiritual Living when it was on Bearcat Drive. And they were giving a little seminar about something. It was to promote their life coaching business. And through the life coaching that I did subscribe to, I started to see that the stories that I was living inside of weren't necessarily true. And I began uncovering limiting beliefs that I didn't know that I carried, beliefs about my worth, my voice, and my place in the world. And slowly, sometimes painfully, I started letting them go. And then in 2014, my mother passed away. Grief, as we all know, has a way of stripping everything down to its rawest truth. It doesn't ask permission, it just arrives. And in that space, I found myself questioning everything: my faith, my direction, even my sense of connection to something greater. It felt like being untethered. Not long after that, I made another life-altering choice to leave an 11-year relationship. And that decision didn't come from certainty. It came from quiet, persistent knowing that I could no longer stay where I was and still honor who I was becoming. And that's when the real work began. I had to rebuild not just my life, but my relationship with myself. I wrote myself a lot of notes. And as I was writing myself notes, I was reminded of Ernest Holmes. In the teachings of him, we learned that in thought is the creative, and that we are consistently held in the mind, and we begin to experience it in form. At first, that idea felt impossible to grasp, especially while I was in grief. If anyone has ever lost a mother, I'm sure that you can relate. It's devastating. Like, she was my anchor in everything. So my thoughts were not always hopeful. They were heavy, confused, and like I was searching for something. And then something shifted, and I began to practice intention, not perfectly, but consistently. I started to ask myself, what do I want to feel? What do I want to experience? And what do I choose to become? And little by little, I began to align with my thoughts and something greater than the fear that I was experiencing. I surrounded myself with people that believed in possibility, people who spoke life into one another, people who served not for recognition, but from a deep well of love and purpose. In that community, I was reminded of joy, connection, and what it truly means to celebrate each other. And from that place, I began to create again. I set intentions, not just for a relationship, but for the kind of love that I was ready to receive and to give. One that was rooted in respect, growth, and laughter. And many of you have heard my story, but I did stalk Jamie Palmer on Facebook. She was a product of a manifestation I had. I had sat down January 31st of 2012 and did an intention setting course. And I was in a relationship at the time, and I knew in my gut that that relationship wasn't working. So everything I had written about wanting that relationship to grow, I crossed it out, and on the back side of it, I put, I want to be in a relationship with Jamie Palmer. That relationship didn't happen for 5 years, but I spoke it out to the universe, and the universe conspired for me because I let go of how it was going to happen and trusted that the universe had my greatest and highest good in mind. And truthfully, that journey has not been linear. It's been layered with grief, courage, surrender, and deep spiritual awakening. And there are moments that I felt completely lost and moments that I felt profoundly guided. What I know is this: we are not separate from the power that creates life. We are an expression of it. And when we begin to align our thoughts, beliefs, and our intentions with love, with truth, with possibility, life responds. So on this Mother's Day, I honor not only the mother that I lost, but the parts of myself that had to be reborn, the parts that learned to trust again, to believe again, and to love again. And I honor each of you on whatever journey you're on and wherever you are in it. Because even in the uncertainty, even in grief, there's always something waiting for you to rise. So that's all the share that I have, but I did find another Ernest Holmes quote that I really love. And before I say that, I just want to say that motherhood, the divine feminine, the quiet strength that holds the world together, sometimes isn't loud and grand. Sometimes it's as simple as a tiny heart-shaped stone tucked in your pocket, steady and warm, reminding you that love doesn't have to shout to be powerful. And as Ernest Holmes taught us, love points the way and the law makes it possible. The small stone becomes both love in your hand and the quiet law within you that keeps showing up, nurturing, creating, and holding. So this Mother's Day, honor the sacred in the smallest things, the unseen care, the gentle resilience, and the love that stays. Thank you for letting me share.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. You're such a beautiful person. Beautiful. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you. And thanks everybody for coming out to be with us today. Today's reading comes from Your Invisible Power by Guinevere Behrend. I can't say her name.
Yeah.
The power within you, which enables you to form a thought picture, is the starting point of all there is. In its original state, it is undifferentiated, formless substance of life. Your thought picture makes the model, so to say, into which this formless substance takes shape. Visualizing or mentally seeing things and conditions as you wish them to be is the condensing, the specializing power in which you might be, illustrated by comparison with the lens of a magic lantern, which is one of the best symbols of the imagining faculty. It illustrates the idea of the working of the creative spirit on the plane of initiative and selection, or in its concentrated, specialized form in a remarkably clear manner. The great architect of the universe contemplated himself as manifesting through his polar opposite, which was matter. And the idea expanded and projected itself until we have not only a world, but many worlds. Many people ask, but why should we have a physical world at all? And the answer is because it is the nature of originating substance to solidify under directivity rather than activity, just as it is the nature of wax to harden when it becomes cold, or plaster of Paris to become firm and solid when exposed to the air. Your picture is the same divine substance in its original state, taking form through the individualized center of divine operation in your mind, and there is no power to prevent this combination of spiritual substance from becoming physical form. It is the nature of spirit to complete its work, and an idea is not complete until it has made for itself a vehicle. Nothing can prevent your picture from coming into concrete form except the same power which gave it birth, yourself. So I'd like you to take a moment and connect with the life you would love to live. What one thing would you love more than anything to experience in your life? What is happening around you? What thoughts and feelings do you experience in each moment? And for the next few moments of silence, just really take in the time to connect with this life you're living and experience it as fully as you can envision. Really feel it. So knowing that God and universal energy is all there is in this world, take a moment to see this universal energy as a bright white light all around you, a place where all creation takes place. Feeling the allness of this light that is also you, dissolve the boundaries that create you separately and experience being the light you are in. This light, you in this light, are the source of all creation. Continue to experience the one thing you are building and creating from your love and joy. Again, what thoughts and feelings do you experience in each moment? Really connect with this life experience you are having now. And how does it feel to experience this version of your life? Coming back into your beautiful body and bringing all of this in with you, knowing that all guides, steps, and actions moving forward in your day-to-day life are leading you to this life that has begun in this moment. From meeting new people, to taking specific actions, to resting and just loving yourself and being in community. Everything and every moment moving forward is leading to this end. Knowing this truth, I feel gratitude for the universal larger than me bringing this to fruition. And releasing it to the universe, I allow myself to show up in gratitude daily and move forward in joy, knowing it is done. As together we say, and so it is.
It's really funny because when stuff happens and you have a tendency to judge it as good or bad, and sometimes you go, why are these bad things happening to me? But if you take a moment and you see the opportunity in that moment for the growth, for the blessings, and you give it that little bit of a silver lining, you come to realize how good that experience made your life. This is a little tune called Silver Lining. I woke up this morning with a baritone voice, so I had to shift to this tune. And off we go. It's been a little bit since I've done it, so introducing Mr. Harmonica.
Have you ever awakened to Monday? You're late for work, then you hear the newsman say, did you turn your clock back yesterday? Now you got all the hours, smile on your face, but back to the been replaced. You say, my, what a beautiful day. Have you ever awakened to the garbage truck coming down the road and suddenly realized some full trash cans had been put out the night before? Now you're running down the road, barefoot in the snow, catch that truck before it's gone. And you turn to walk back home, see the beauty of the snow and say, my, what a beautiful day. And sometimes those things we take for granted are things we should be more thankful for. Sometimes, the bad things aren't really bad, but when you look for the silver lining, there's always a silver lining. Keep on looking for the silver lining. Reach to the bottom, favorite pants, found a $10 bill in there just by chance. Just when you thought there'd be no lunch today, got a little glitter and a smile on your face, you're ready to be replaced. You say, my, what a beautiful day. Sometimes the things we take for granted are things we should be more thankful for. And sometimes, the bad things aren't really bad when you're looking for the silver lining. There's always a silver lining. Keep on looking for the silver lining. Life just keeps on rolling like a river to the sea. All the things we focus on will become what we receive. I thank you, God, for every blessing in my life, no matter how it's disguised. Every single event in my life seems to catch me by surprise. And every person I meet as I'm walking down the street, even when the goods are on the other side. Every day when I draw one more breath, it lets me know that I'm alive. Sometimes the things we take for granted are things we should be thankful for. Sometimes, the bad things aren't really bad when you look for the silver lining. There's always a silver lining. Keep on looking for the silver lining.
Well, I talked about earlier about feeling transformed and a spark of transformation. Are you guys feeling something? I'm feeling a lot. I'm feeling a lot from your beautiful share. That was so beautiful. I just thank you. Joanne, you always transform me to another realm. Thank you. And Gary, thank you. So the Holy Trinity, and I'm the one, I just hold it up, juggle the balls, and everyone does their beautiful job. So thank you so much. So today is Mother's Day, and before I begin, I would just like to, us, if you feel comfortable, just to close your eyes and just to tap into that centeredness where you feel that presence of your mother, of your grandmother, of your aunts, of your sisters, of just that feminine energy, just leading you and giving birth to you this lifetime. And just knowing and centering in this wisdom, we share this vibration with those that we love, those that have created such a beautiful life for us, that have cared for us, loved on us. And maybe if it wasn't perfect or ideal, I truly believe people just do the best they can with what they know. And so just making peace with what was, celebrating the good, bringing a heart-centeredness to what wasn't that great, perhaps. Just knowing that love is leading the way in this relationship, that you were birthed from love and respect and kindness. And for that, you are ever so grateful for. So when we realize this, we let go of a lot. Just knowing that in this moment, there's just love expressing as you. That you are love and that you are loved. So we just take a moment, feel this, know this, and simply rest it on our heart, being forever grateful for what was and joyfully accepting a new world, a new possibility of what will be. Namaste. So when I was in ministerial school, I was really attracted to Sufism. And I thought, boy, if I wasn't a religious scientist, if I wasn't a Buddhist, I would be a Sufi. But I really love the mystical tradition of Islam. And we're all very familiar with Rumi, with Hafiz. Well, there was a woman 500 years before Rumi, 700 years before Hafiz. And her name is Rabia al-Bashir, and she lived 716 to 801. And she was a poet, one of the earliest Sufi mystics, and an influential religious figure from Iraq. She is regarded as one of the three preeminent Qalandars of the world, an enlightened sage, often noticed of having been the single most famous woman in Islam. Rabia was renowned for her high virtue and piety. And according to the Sufi account, she was one of the first to set forth the doctrine of divine love, a form of piety that would eventually be labeled Sufism. And I want to read to you a poem that she wrote. And her life was incredibly challenging. She was born what we would consider today as a human trafficking victim. She was bought and sold until eventually someone bought her and took her to this facility for her healing. And this was 700, the Common Era. So she is a woman of great insight, great devotion to God. And she says, eyes are at rest, the stars are setting. Hushed are the stirrings of birds in their nests, or monsters that are in the ocean. You are the just who knows no change, the balance that can never swerve, the eternal which will never pass away. The doors of kings and queens are bolted now and guarded by soldiers. But your door is open to all who call upon you. My Lord, each love is now alone with their beloved, and I am alone with you. I swear that ever since the first day you brought me back to life, the day you became my friend, I have not slept. And even if you drive me from your door, I swear again that we will never be separated, because you are alive in my heart. So today my sermon is called The Divine Feminine, the Living Presence Within. And Ernest Holmes always reminds us that there is one life, that life is God, that life is yours, and that life is now. But there is this one life, this one infinite presence, this one divine intelligence expressing itself through everything, through everyone, from whence we came to where we're going for all eternity. And this presence is both stillness and activity. It's the word and the womb. It's the seed and the soil. So today we recognize and honor the divine feminine, not as separate from God, but as an essential aspect of this one life. Her wisdom, her intuition, her creative power is what we truly are. And it is the seed, it is the word that we plant into this that gives us form. So today we open ourselves to this life as this divine feminine, being receptive, nurturing to who we are, intuitive, that lives within all of us. And as the great mystic Julian of Norwich, and she was a high abbess in 1342, once said, "As truly as God is our Father, so truly is God our Mother." So what is this divine feminine that Science of Mind talks about? Ernest Holmes says the spirit is masculine, the law is feminine, and that the feminine is not an addition to God, it is how God creates. So the divine wisdom, this presence, is one of healing, is one of compassion, is one of nurturing, is one of intuition, is one of intimacy, is one of this essence that makes sure whatever we put into it grows in to the highest and best for our human expression. So the divine masculine is associated with the word and direction, but the divine feminine is the womb of creation, the space where everything is possible can happen. So this isn't something that's secondary, something that's a support, something that is an appendage or an add-on. It is how spirit works together, that we have the divine holy masculine, the divine holy feminine, and those two together create your life. Equally important, equally needed, equally expressing this one. So we see it not as gender. We pray a lot, Mother, Father, God. We talk about the God of many faces, the God of many genders, the God of many colors, the God of many expressions, and it opens up into all of this all the time. So the feminine, we see it as the creative medium. It's not passive, it's generative. It generates form. And it is the fertile ground of consciousness itself. So even Mary Magdalene says, and often reinterpreted through mystical Christianity, she says, there comes the idea that true knowing arises from within, not from outer authority. So if the feminine does not force truth, it rather reveals it. And Home echoes this in this metaphysical way. Spirit's the cause, the servant is feminine, the creative process forming into an effect. So the feminine is really the yes of the universe. Whatever we plant into it, it creates the highest and best for our expression. And I've talked about this before a couple weeks ago, saying that law, that servant that gives us form, is one that's automatic. So we don't have to perform for God. We don't have to be something else other than we are. That it is automatic planting what you give it. We've talked about it being impersonal, meaning it just does what it does. It doesn't care what you did last Tuesday. It doesn't care about your zip code. It simply gives you the highest and best, because why? It is intelligent. It gives you the best experience, the best person when you are ready to receive. This is why I love Kelly's story so much, that she set that intention to have Jamie in her life 5 years before, not knowing how that form was going to take. It was the list I had for Brad. The 40 qualities, I got 4. But okay, that's an old joke. No, just kidding. Then I got 400 qualities. But you know, she had this intention of what she wanted, right? And when she was ready, when Jamie was ready, they got married. They developed a relationship. So the divine always knows, this intelligent feminine nature always knows what's best for you. So had Kelly not sent that intention, had Kelly not waited for that experience, Jamie would not have entered into her life. So she had the power of intention. She planted that seed. And it works in divine timing for that highest and best of their union to happen. So we trust until we see it in form, knowing the best is yet to happen, knowing it is moving forward to us. And if it doesn't work out, it is for your highest and best as well. So the divine feminine has your back. It always wants you to win. That the nature of this essence of this cosmic experience that we are all are in wants you to have the life of your dreams. That is how good God is and how good God shows up. So reclaiming the sacred union. Home talks back in this way. He says, we should learn to listen to this inner voice. That the inner voice is one of the clearest expressions of the divine feminine. And so how do we do this? We listen instead of forcing. We trust instead of striving. We allow instead of controlling. Home says that the divine urge is always moving us towards a greater expression, and that this urge may be gentle, but it's persistent, that it's always unfolding within us. So we remember this, that the feeling is intelligence, that the intuition we get is in guidance, that receiving is just as powerful as doing. So the divine feminine allows us to slow down, to listen deeply, to trust that inner voice. So I love to knit. If I wasn't a minister, I would have a knitting store. I love yarn. I'm knitting. You guys put your orders in for Christmas gifts because it'll take me a while to make them. But I love knitting. And I used to think when I was knitting, I was being lazy. That I wasn't reading, studying, cooking, baking, hanging out with friends, that I wasn't doing when I was doing so much for my soul. Being a kinesthetic person, the yarn, the creation of something, giving something. I have enough hats, scarves, sweater. I don't need one more item. But giving was a practice for me. And so I ask you, what is it that slows you down into that divine feminine space where you can listen and feel without judging yourself, worrying that you're not doing enough or not working hard enough, slowing down to feel that presence. And it's really your intuition is that divine feminine. I don't know, a couple of weeks ago I said to you that when I had our sons that were younger, I'd have these babysitters, and I would give them this book called The Gift of Fear. And it was a book that really allowed them to tap into their intuition. So if they said, oh, I don't feel good enough or worried enough to go into a parking lot, I wouldn't go. But it was a book that honored that intuition. So I encourage you to tap into that, because that is really where the sparkle dust, the stardust of your life unfolds. It is in this fertile ground that is always moving you forward into something great. And I always think if something doesn't work out, it was for your highest and best. And it's like Gary's song, Striving. You know, we can let all of that go and just be where we are, knowing that the divine feminine is always moving through us in a beautiful, easy way, willing to receive the thoughts we have to make something really special. So I want to talk about how we balance this masculine and feminine energy. So science of mind isn't about choosing one or the other. We're always about integration, always about wholeness, always about this relationship moving forward. So Ernest Holmes says the divine masculine says, speak your word. And the divine feminine says, feel what is true. The masculine directs, the feminine allows, and together they create. So even in treatment, we declare in the masculine, but we accept and receive in the feminine. So inducing thought within the law, this is the union of what we do and how we pray in religious science. So living the divine feminine, how do we embody this again? It's stillness, slowing down, listening to the space that is there, compassion, giving of ourselves, giving to one another, being of service is such a powerful spiritual practice of how we do church, how we do our lives. Creativity, allowing expression without judgment. You know, sometimes when I'm knitting and a pattern goes Willy Wonka-ish because I'm watching a movie and I'm distracted, you know, what I do now is I have one simple pattern I can do while I'm talking to someone and one simple pattern or one complex pattern that I can only do alone with me. So sometimes there's hiccups in creativity as well. But you listen and you move through, and then you have two different knitting projects that you're working on to kind of make that work for you. That we trust in letting life unfold in the greatest and best way. So the divine feminine for us as religious scientists is what we don't have to force life to happen. You are already living in it. That this isn't the feminine posture of being open and receptive, available to Spirit's movement. It is simply turning within your intuition and allowing it to go because you already have all those ingredients in it. So I want to walk us through a closing affirmative prayer of tapping into this essence right now. Just slowing this presence down. If you feel comfortable to close your eyes, if you feel comfortable just to put your hands on your laps, just slowly, just lightly perhaps having your eyes partially open or not. And just right here and right now in this sacred moment, there's so much good and joy in this gratitude. And this gratitude for the Other Side Village, that we get to be in a beautiful place, modern, gorgeous, vibrant, that we express such deep love to all the villagers, to Camille Winnie, the executive director, sending her love, and Keith and Natalie. Just in deep gratitude of Gary's talented ability, sharing that with us. And Brian and Joanne and Kelly, who are all here today, just allowing this sense of openness, this divine feminine, to express through themselves with intuition, with love, with receptivity. So I am deeply grateful for this moment. And so I recognize, as Spirit is, the creative mind of God that is so joyfully abundant and vibrant and creative and whole, that I know this essence speaks through me, and that this essence speaks through you and all of our members who are traveling and away today, just knowing wherever they are, camping on a cruise with their mothers, that we just shower them with this recognition that that life is expressing through all. And so I realize right here and right now that we are so tapped in to that divine feminine that lives and dwells within us, that we do not have to perform to receive. We simply have to allow it to just be open, and for us to be open to hear those sweet words, the messages of how to proceed in life, that it is already within us, ready to go. Because just as we show up, that we are whole, that we are complete, that we are perfect, that the divine masculine and the divine feminine work together in creating a life that is loving, creative, whole, healthy, abundant, peaceful, joyful, that it is simply already existing within us. So I realize this truth. I realize the divine feminine moves through all of us all the time. And as we listen to it, we truly receive the highest insight from the heavens, pouring itself into us as we go throughout our day. And so I'm thankful, I know this, I'm thankful that God shows up in this way, that I have this accessibility to it, that God allows me to shine just as I am. I'm thankful for these teachings, thankful for this space, thankful for my amazing husband and sons and our dogs and my brother, just thankful for all the good that is in my life. So I take a moment to feel this, to know that this prayer is already done, already taking form in such a big way that I can't even recognize it, but I feel it. And I intuitively know the best is yet to come. So I let this be, and together with one heartbeat, we simply say, and so it is. Namaste. So this is the time in our service. Thank you so much. Gary, you're just a rock star in the making. Thank you so much. Gary's so talented. He does it all. I think clap out to you. Beautiful. So this is the time of our offering. So we became 501c3 last week, so that's a big deal for us. Yay. Thank you, Lanna, navigating the legal world. Not my forte, but we did. And we have our QR codes in the back for the Other Side Village and also for the Wasatch Spiritual Center. So please, whatever works for you. We have a prayer box in the back. We have announcements, notices. But this is a time of our offering where what do? Have a joke. One joke. And Brad gave me a good joke for next week, but Brian gave me this joke for today. So there were 3 ministers who were having a discussion about what they do with the proceeds they get from their collections. One of them said that every Sunday after services, he brings all the offerings into his office, where he has a big circle drawn on the floor. I throw all the money up in the air, he explained, and I allow it to land wherever it will. The money inside the circle belongs to God, and the rest I use for my own expenses. The second said, yes, I do very much the same thing. I throw the money into the air, let it fall where it may, but wherever it lands outside the circle belongs to God, and what lands inside, I consider it to be my salary. The third said, that's a remarkable coincidence. My process is very similar. I also throw all the money up into the air. God grabs as much as he wants, and whatever hits the ground is mine. So that's the joke of that, you know. So a couple quick announcements. We do our announcements at the end. Eventually, they're going to be up here, and you don't have to hear me talk more. And eventually, Jamie will be doing our offering. So Jamie, get ready. Get warmed up for your comedic ability to take hold. But we just started a class, which is the Ancient Traditions and Science of Mind. We just had our first class on Tuesday. Those that are welcome to join or can still join. You're only allowed to miss one. It's for 4 more weeks, and there's information on the table there. The class is $150, and $40 of that goes to the Centers for Spiritual Living for their education. So we have more classes coming up. I'm teaching 6 classes this year, and then we'll have a group of practitioners coming through in January of 2027 starting. So that's fun to have a larger ecclesiastical wing here. Also, I'm off to Japan for 2 weeks at the end of May 28th to June 13th. We have an incredible guest minister coming, Reverend Nicole Murgis, and she used to be Director of Education for the Centers for Spiritual Living for 10 years. She's just a remarkable speaker, and she will be here. And she's also doing a workshop called Sanctuary in the Storm, Living from the Presence Within. And it'll be here June 7th for 2 hours after the service. There'll be snacks provided, and it's $20. And in this, you will get to build internal safety, expand the capacity to hold uncertainty, practical body-based tools to anchor you in the truth of who you really are. And she says here, she goes, this highly experiential workshop invites to explore a revolutionary idea that the mind includes the body, drawing on science of mind principles and somatic awareness practices. Will create a space where spiritual truth becomes physically real. So she's one of my coaches I see every 2 weeks, and she's remarkable. She lives up in Big Cottonwood Canyon, a big-time skier. She works with a lot of families who've experienced death and suicide in their families and communities. She's an incredible life coach, healer, minister. So she'll be speaking those 2 weeks. So be on good behavior when I'm gone. We'll have to have other people do the prayers and all of that, but you will really enjoy her. She'll be here May 31st and June 7th. So that is it for me. I think Gary has our closing song. Wishing all your mothers and your mothers a beautiful, beautiful Sunday, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
This is where you have the opportunity to shine because this is your song. Or do we have lyrics?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, we need the strings. And love be with you, peace enfold you, Spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, make good flow to you. Let joy renew you till we meet again. Rocking out. Love be with you. Ooh. Love be with you. Can you hear it? Ooh. Love be with you. Ooh. Love be with you. Ooh, yeah. All together, hand in hand, we see the light and take a stand in. We are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take the past
love be with you. Love be with you.